gasoline usage, but we'll see. Construction work out of Australia, monthly CPI. This is actually pretty interesting, a little bit lower than expected. And then economic sentiment, a little bit softer, consumer confidence. This is the final. So coincident index, so much money. Look, the reality is from Peter to Paul, right? And that basically is a function of money coming out of China going into the rest of the Asia Pacific Rim. It's that simple. I mean, that's what it looks like. And, that's why, we're in, EEM, even though it does have China in it, but it has Taiwan semi. But I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. China is, for me personally, is not, I always have a hedge on. And that hedge is pretty bodacious as well. FYI. Okay. But the bulk of the money I'm making right now is this in the bio sector, right? These small, like something like, from this morning, it's this, IXHL. I mean, it's up on news 167%, but that news is noteworthy. So things like that, I think, are important. Take away. Things of that nature. Look, I don't think that changes, but some things haven't actually, we need confirmation. It's a multi-year breakout. We talked about this and we'll go into detail. I pointed it out yesterday and Spartan looked at it as well. And so yeah, so we'll see how that, this is where I think, I guess, I don't want to say easy money because is disingenuous money. I mean, making money isn't, but it's less stressful making money in it. Mortgage backs, you can see here, 30-year mortgage, a little bit lower, right? Index, a little bit lower, yada, yada, yada. And so we have the GDP. And if you look at the GDP now growth, they are forecasting, drum roll please, 3.2%. I've been saying this, Twins has been saying, but I've been really saying this. You're not going to get these rate cuts because everybody's pricing in a recession. And I keep saying, right, it's the economy, stupid. Nothing is saying right now the recession. So by definition, with GDP where it's at, how the hell are we going to get into a recession by in 3 months' time? Statistically not probable. Okay, even by the end of the year, statistically not probable. We'll see what the PCE looks like, right? And whatever. Okay, earnings. Some interesting stuff. TJX, that's kind of interesting, right? Low in guidance. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts, low in guidance. EME, MCore raising, SQSP, GTLS. This is what we got going on right now. Invez, this next quarter is going to be really fascinating, I think. That's my personal opinion. And, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Right? Well, Roberts shouted it out, and South Beach shouted CXAI. But, this is, like I say, this is where we're making money right now, okay, in these types of things. Anyways, and it's for someone like myself because I can see the volume, the low floats, these baby bios being bought by retail. So that's kind of fun for us. Bitcoin extends gains, Eurozone economics unexpectedly weakens, futures lower, applications fall, yada, yada. I mean, wall away, right? Wall Street Journal. For leaders around the world, 70 is the new 50. Whatever. Well, I'll take the 73 over the 81. Just saying. Biggest media deploys a nuclear TikTok. I don't, I'm not a fan of TikTok for obvious reasons. Well, I'm not a fan of any of this stuff. Social media at all. I mean, I think it's evolving versus I think we're in now in a over, like a bell curve. We're kind of on the other side of it, devolving as a race. But anyways, warnings for Biden and Trump. Please, someone, nobody's going to be able to take over Trump, but Biden, please let's get a contested convention. Okay, let's do it. I mean, this is ridiculous. No one, these two, seriously, I'm just saying, okay, the rest of the world is looking at us from the outside in, and I know we're the best of the best, yada, yada, yada. But if you really think about it, this is why my narrative about putting money to work overseas has been working, is because if you're looking from overseas to the inside here, you're saying, what the hell? And reselling, and I know, but you know what? I know, but I'm thinking as a globalist and the deglobalization, this is basically people are saying, what the hell? Right? And this is how you get money coming out of the US from these wealth funds, sovereign nation pension funds, okay? And say, you know what? I think I'll put my money to work in India. You know what? I'd rather put it in Mexico. I'd rather, believe it or not, even Brazil, emerging markets. This is this narrative that everybody says, as Americans, I've worked overseas, okay? I know what it looks like, okay? And I'm telling you, 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, this narrative is going to continue as the United States loses its power globally, both financially as well as politically. And you can say, hey, you're full of shit. That's okay. But I was the first one to tell you about work's importance, okay? I'm not full of shit. I'm not. I'm not. Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, that's kind of interesting. Johns Hopkins, Massachusetts General. So when you talk about the world's best hospital, we out of many, right? It's the state of global workers' rights. Here in the United States, systematic. So if you think, okay, let's take a look at this. Okay. I'm just saying, we're no better. And the only one's Australia, Brazil, Mexico, Canada's better than us. I'm just saying, in terms of workers' rights, who cares, right? Endometriosis as a chronic disease. This actually, if there's a drug that comes out or some sort of assistance to help, it's kind of like this eyesight stuff, the EYPT with the macular degeneration. And the reason why I had to buy a little bit, even though I was chasing the IXHL, is because of anxiety. There's certain areas, that you just basically have to look at some of these things as a long-term investment. So-called pandemic winners struggles in post-pandemic China tops global diplomacy index. Whatever. S&P, we got Spartan. Just saying. So we do have a cycle coming in, 43 bar cycle, NDX, March. So basically top, bottom, consolidation, bottom, bottom. And now we're probably going to be consolidation on the NDX, if you look at it. Okay. But, all I have to say is pay attention. This sequence of multi-week cycle lows since the November. We can assume that the current cycle will last 93 days. That goes into March 13th. Okay. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to say Google's wheat. And everybody piled into Google, right? I don't know. But I did see, like I said, very unusual option activity, longer dated on Google, short-term, week. SPX daily, well, I posted it. Anyway, about Bear's Cry. Crash Cry. Look, from a seasonality point of view, you have to be hedged. Not aggressively, but you have to be hedged. I said it out loud, and I'm serious about saying these things out loud, okay? When I'm making money in baby bios and cryptos, okay, that tells you something right there, right? Right? And that's just common sense. And I did trim that back. Even on the bio side, I'm constantly trimming, okay, because it's the prudent thing to do. Because it's musical chairs. You just don't know when the music stops, and when the music stops, it hurts. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Novavax. Poppy. Yeah, I took my profits on it, thankfully. A lot of these things are getting interesting. TLDR, you missed the 10 best days of the wind return each year. Okay, so all right, so this is the narrative. Don't shoot the messenger with any commodity, please. It's a commodity. Okay, you have to have skin in the game, and you know I've had skin in the game for quite a while now. Because no, MSTR and coin are different, but a lot of these moves happen overnight, just like with gold, silver, all these other natty gas, crude. Okay, either you're in it or you're not, and you manage your exposure. Okay, this is commodity trading 101. You always have a little piece in the game, right? And it's important that you understand that because you're gonna miss it. Now, Tommy Boy is a huge crypto guy, believe it or not. Total monetary base has increased by nearly 10% year over year. I don't know. I don't know. To me, okay, this was the one I was telling you about cryptos, Coco and NVIDIA. This is the NVIDIA chart, and this is the Coco chart. Okay, parabolic. That I wanted to show that to you, right? All right, so I'm going to defer to Robert on this one because he's the mastermind when it comes to cryptos. Okay. So basically, with this dilution and stuff like that, the cost of these miners to mine each will double after the Bitcoin halving. Okay. So look, why not just by beating it in self-custody via cold storage? And I agree with this narrative. Okay. I do agree with this narrative. Okay. I do. But in terms of the halving and stuff like that, I'm literally going to let Poppy take over the narrative. Oh, I don't make him kill him. I don't make him kill meals. Poppy, he doesn't get, I mean, he's an attorney. He doesn't get home until 7, 8, whatever. Dude, always. Come on. I kick ass. What you see is what you get, friends. For those of you who are listening to my live YouTube stream and don't understand this, okay, through the live to YouTube, through Spartan, you know, pre-market, it's a dinner, and it's a breakfast and a show, okay? You're going to get it. Every single day, I'm going to give you my 100% with a smile on my face, even though, why do I want to get up this early in the morning? I don't know. Because I have to get up 5:36. Anyway, what the Fed, this is stupid. I keep saying this. Did I say that out loud? Was it loud enough for everybody? Stupid. Did I say this loud enough? Stupid. Why do everybody think that these are the smartest people in the room? I want to know that. Okay, this was an old thing because Lizzie had that the other day. So if you're going to do something, guys, consumer class is shrinking. Portugal, Germany. Now, if I had the ability to move, if I were young, I mean, in my 30s, okay, 20s, 30s, I wouldn't be living in the United States, I can tell you that. But Portugal seems kind of interesting to me, you know? Anyways, buy a little place. I wouldn't want, my nephew lives in Switzerland. It's just too expensive. What do we got? Mikey, what you got? More all-time highs. We are in it. Shelter is headed for a steady disinflation as informed by appointment list. So this is kind of interesting. And the reason why I say this is interesting is because this is how you have to understand, okay, why. Who the hell can afford apartments when the rentals here are sky high? People are going home. What I'm saying? Well, they rent a house. When a 2-bedroom is like the cost of renting a house, a duplex or something like that, why would you be in an apartment? I'm just saying. I said out loud. Non-recessionary rate cuts are bullish. Now, this is kind of interesting. S&P 100 returns. So this is an interesting construct that we get a cut. Once again, don't forget, you've got the Fed funds and you've got the balance sheet. Just because they do something on the Fed funds line doesn't mean they're not going to do something. They have to do something on the balance sheet. I mean, please and thank you. They have to do something on the balance sheet. All right, so what do we got? Anything interesting popping up here? Tanzania. All right, that's interesting. Time is running out. Okay. AI. Let's talk. This is one of the worst takes ever from a so-called tech person. As developers about corporate, I don't know what to tell you. Generating AI, really. Okay. That's why Elon Musk is, why Tesla's buying as many GPUs as Jensen can deliver. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Some things are kind of funny. This is one of them. Boy, yeah. Nearly 80 vehicle manufacturers globally rely on NVIDIA's AI infrastructure for training LLMs. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. I know with SMCI and stuff like that, I know it's, it became a meme and stuff like that. But I'm really serious about this shit, SMCI who? Okay. I'm really serious about this, SMCI who. So, anyways, see how it plays out. I have no idea why. These ads are just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Gas prices after the crazy parabolic go back to basics. Yeah, well, trooper, that's fine. Yeah, whatever. That's you. All right. All right, Lizzie, what you got for me today? Thank God she took off that meeting thing. That was kind of getting the nastiness. I don't care about that. This is what I care about. Russell 2000 index is still in bear market, but has risen to a 2-year high. I understand this. Okay, look, no matter how you slice and dice it, okay, this is a catch-up trade. But no matter how you slice and dice it, okay, you got to be careful with it, okay, because it's still in a bear market. I'm just saying, I'm just talking out loud, okay? I'm just talking out loud. And that's why, I trim and then I buy. I trim and then I buy. I trim and then I buy. Okay. And then, we see what happens with it. Okay. We'll see what happens with the GDP, but that's why no matter how, that's why even on the baby bio side, in the bio side, you have to trim. Okay. That's just 101 stuff. All right. And I did a lot of trimming yesterday. Raise my cash levels up. It's a no longer account. God bless America. Sorry. Anyways, I apologize. All right, so what do we got? We know about China and the United States. Nothing new. Here we go. Confiscate country's assets during a period of fiat money. Imagine exporting your country's resources in exchange for assets that can be frozen at any time. Our current system is trust-based. Yeah, nobody trusts each other. Yellen says that the world's most advanced economies have a moral obligation to unfreeze Russian assets to aid Ukraine. The world we live in is kind of screwed up. That's my story. Sticking to it. What do we got? Equity sentiment. Boop, boop, boop. Did we get did the AAII come out yet? Nope. What do we got? Apple canceling its co-project places focus on areas like, okay, so everybody has yesterday was kind of just example of why I don't listen to anything. I don't listen to any of these guys. Okay, because they really don't know. I'm just saying, I'm talking out loud. I mean, Apple is going to go up not because of cars. Apple is going to go up because of AI. Okay. And it's glassy thing, whatever you call it, right? Wow. Talk about short squeeze rally. Let's go. We'll be on that one. So it's time to break up giants. Okay. She says this all the time. Why does anybody listen to what she has to say? I mean, look, a lot of these people are noise. Well, most politicians are noise. Okay. But I'll be honest with you. And I know this is really, but when Nancy Pelosi or her husband buys stuff, she bought off I mean, she's pretty damn good. He's a really good trader, guys. Okay. Right. Really good trader. Right. Baidu dips despite revenue, whatever. Lucky Sikorsky plans to build next generative tilt wing aircraft. Keep an eye on that. Acquires proof target. I said yesterday on DNA to keep a little bit of an eye on it. And I know it's been dead money, but this Ginkgo Bioworks, I don't have a big position on it, but I think it's getting ready for something. Okay. I don't know why, but in my head, I just see it. All right, what do we got? Selling comfort systems fixed, right? Paying themselves. That's okay. We can do that. Board members, probably, whatever. Insider trading, all these, right? 10% owners, whatever. You can do it. I don't have any problem with that. Voco is tied to grants, directors and stuff. I don't want your newsletter. Go away. All right. Let's do it. That time of the day. Dell by Loop. And then a studette. We don't normally have studettes, friends. 78%. She's from Loop, but who cares? Her success rate is 78%, so she should be applauded for that. Dell, interesting. Oh, keep an eye on that. Overweight, Barclays, W, Weatherford, Desktop, DM. I like that. I mean, but it's 64%. Cantor Fitzgerald. We'll see. Let's see what we got. You know, a lot of downgrades are coming, right? Because of valuations, right? Where we are in the cycle. It's sterling, obviously. I'm just saying from buy to neutral, right? That should make sense to everybody. Neutral to underweight. So that's interesting. Cleveland Cliffs, right? AEP, you know, a lot of these Vizio, well, whatever. It's always, right? Stellantis. So a lot of these downgrades, but you can see only two of them have actually lower prices. Cleveland Cliffs and ENFN Infusion. Like I said, you got to know what you're looking at, friends, not just the headlines. All right. So Echo Lab, interesting, 16%. Mana from Barclays, 78% stud, equal to overweight. BFAM, NCDL, Jackson Financial. This is one that I've been watching, okay, and I do have a really small position in. And it is holding the EMA support. So, I mean, some of these that I'm looking at right now that kind of make a little bit of sense to me, okay? So, but we'll see. We'll see. Lending Tree also got one. Sorry. Yeah, Apple got too fat and happy. This Apple's just really, you know what? Anyways, we'll see what happens. Like I say, Apple is a function of for me, AI. And it's also seasonality time with it. All right, let's see what the idiots are doing. I mean, I can't help myself. I'm a broken record for those who've been here for like years. Since 2022, I said the same thing. This economy's stupid. You're not gonna get what you want. And you know what? Look, they're listening to me. One cut by the end of the year, if you're lucky. I've been saying this for months and months. Look, if someone tells you something, believe them, okay? And if they tell you something multiple times, you know what? If they show you who they are, believe them. It has to do with presidents, it has to do with politics, it has to do with Fed chairs, it has to do with Fed heads. The Fed board makeup in 2024 is more hawkish than it was in 2023. There is no way they're going to make any cuts with an economy like this, with a GDP of potentially 3.2%. Okay, what is the GDP number? Anybody got it for me? 2.1, PC a little bit higher, 3.5, like I say, it's the economy. Stupid. PCE 1.8, that's not a big deal. That's nothing, okay? But, like I say, someone tell me what's wrong with this GDP. 3.2 versus I mean, seriously, guys. Price index 1.7, a little bit higher. Like I say, inventories 0.3. Look, a lot of the inventories has really been dwindled down, okay? And this is why I think I said 2 months ago, I thought we saw a low and then in terms of inflation. And the reason being is because they whittled down their inventories and a lot of cost of goods and services are going up. Okay, anyways, good number, right? It's economy, stupid. Just don't get it sometimes. I have a lot of fun. Bonds are holding up fine. They're saying, hey, hey, look at me. Apple, that's not up to date. I gotta refresh this. That's not what happened yesterday. There we go. There we go. Hughes, 2.3 million, Apple, 1.9 million, Netflix, PDD, Micron, and O. Okay. There you go. The sky is not falling. Like I say, I'm really being honest and sincere about this whole narrative with everybody. Okay. We want this. Okay. We want a strong GDP. This is what we want to see. That's the bullish narrative. That's what we want to happen. We don't want a recession. It's Econ 101. If you're going to add 1 + 1 = 2, this is the 1 + 1 = 2. Strong economy, a little bit higher interest rates, better sustainable profits, investments. This is what it looks like, and twins will say that. I agree with you, twins, on that. I think look, the reality is, once again, Apple better get its shit together when it comes to AI and stuff. And I know we talk about, well, will they do a better widget? Well, they're getting really behind. I just have to say that. American Waterworks, Excel, public service enterprises. We'll see. Coin, keep doing it. Lots of red, seasonality. Tesla's #1. Okay, let's talk. That's not it. This is the one. Invoice ETFs. This is the only thing that bothers me a little bit, guys, is the complacency. Now, the question is, you say, well, what does it really mean? It's complacency. Okay, all you need is what we've got going on, a sideways consolidation, bullish consolidation. Amen, hallelujah, right? That's what I'm trying to say is, that's what I mean, seriously. Okay. That's what it means. Okay. And just pay attention. Okay. That's all it takes is sideways consolidation to get this to go down, and then a little bit of a rally, and you can see this for it to pop. And this is why when you have this is why the indicators are meaningless. I don't know if they're less important. So South Beach's oscillator is less important right now. Okay, a lot of these indicators are less important. Now, correlation pattern match 90% overall of a previous, whatever, bullish, right? Wasn't mean since, now this is since 2011. Okay, whatever. It's bullish. Maybe not short term, but you know, I mean, 400% and 50, whatever. Whatever. It's Bitcoin. What am I gonna tell you? It's a meme now. Like SMCI, a little bit of frothiness, energy, financials, industrials. Well, the industrials been going this way for, you know, the Dow is, you know, nothing really. This is what consolidation looks like, friends. Right? I mean, it's that simple. So all the mods, we all find where to go. Now, when retail's the top dog in biotech, there should be a pullback, right? Okay, where does that money flow to? Okay, it's still going to be the semis, I think, you know? I still think it's going to be the semis, right? Industrials, semis. Utilities, industrials, healthcare, right? Don't quite from me, Argentina, and then Israel's tops. Okay, so we talked about this Mobileye and stuff like that. This is what I am in, but I have such a small position in it. I have a double bottom in it. Okay, so that's why I kind of have a small position in it, but it's a tough one right now. Okay. but keep an eye on it. We'll see. Poet? Puppy, talk to me about it. What does it mean? Oh, 8 energy chips, thanks. Okay, thank you, sir. Coco's still top dog. All right, can I say something? People are getting this, I keep saying this, you're getting it wrong. Okay. The reason why cocoa is where it's at is because West Africa has not planted any new cocoa trees since 2000. If you understand commodities, and most people, I dare say, don't, okay, it's infrastructure, cost of goods, miners, refiners, gold, silver, it doesn't matter. If the cost of goods, okay, for you to do it, if you have an aging trees are, they have a life cycle too. The production is diminished, ergo, that's why cocoa is ripping. That's why cocoa supply is going to keep going up. The price is going to continue to go up. I'm just saying, but what do I know? Not a whole lot. Sometimes I know. We're here to educate. Okay, a little bit, whatever. Israel, 3 days. XBI, we talked about that, 5 days. Okay. And then we go from there. Let's take a look at seasonality. Technically, these 2 days. Oh, this is March. Let's get to February. Oh, red. Last 2 days of the month. Red. Red. And red. Ta-da! Yeah. My job is done. Okay. Let's see. Yes, bonds. Holding up fine. Looking good. Are they feeling good? I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Canada up. Europe's down, except for the UK, and everybody else is down. I mean, it's like the range is set right now. A lot of cat shouldn't be there. The spread you can see here, no big deal going on here. Let's take a look at a 3-month. This is my gold standard, but everybody got away from it. And this is why, the reality is it never did what all the other ones did. So if you pay attention, but irregardless, in theory, on a measured move, guess what? I mean, how are we going to get, well, we'll see. The economy would really have to collapse to get to a recession by May, right? And then let's do this. Okay, so, all right, here we are. I don't see us going anywhere in this range, friends. I think this holds, and I think literally we consolidate for months and months and months and months. China, Germany, still holding the 10 EMA, but this is a crazy ass range. And it's basically at the mid right now. So dollar, cryptos, ta-da! All right, so let's talk. This is Bitcoin Ethereum, guys. For those of you playing it, we're getting into the upper quadrant. So for me, when we get up to here, okay, that's when I'm starting to say, okay, I've got to really start thinking about either putting some hedges on or putting some, or trimming some more. Okay. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but that's how I'm looking at it. Okay. Upper quadrant here. Okay. And here's Bitcoin Ethereum. This is fascinating. It hasn't broken out. If it does break out, friends, whoop. So, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to pin it. Commodities. Looks like 70% red and 30% green. Natty gas is up again. Okay, well, have corn, soybeans, right? Cotton's up big time, right? That's a notable thing. Right, cocoa's down, but I mean, seriously, been a hellacious one. Right? All right, market's down, right? All right, if GSIT does ever get a tier one partnership, look, Poppy, like I say, I'm in it with you. I mean, I've got calls, I've got equity on it. You keep telling me, and I keep, I'm looking over my shoulder because it is an ATM machine, right? But yeah, why not? I put in my Roth IRA actually, the DYOO as well. All right, I'll put that in my. You know what, Poppy? I don't, do it yourself research, do your own research. Look, if Poppy shouts it out, he's done his research, so I'm not, whatever. I should put in my IRA. I didn't buy a lot. I mean, seriously, come on. It's a small IRA, but when the market opens, I'll buy a little bit. Okay, so the markets are down, right? VIX is up. This is the thing. Watch the VIX, guys. I'm serious because this complacency. If we do any, I mean, we're due for a little bit of a spike, FYI. So on the VIX, I'm up to 1 to 2% on the VIX right now. Okay, I'm just talking out loud. Okay. Do not do options on the VIX. That's all I have to say. You're literally wasting your money. Okay. DAX looking good, feeling good. FAS looking good, feeling good. EFA looking good, feeling good. FXI. I can't get excited. EEM can't get excited. I am in it, but I can't get excited. This is the one I look at. When this comes in like that, the way that happens is one or two ways. The Q sell off or the CQQ. I mean, normally when this happens, it's the Qs that are coming in a little bit. But in this regard, it was the Chinese, but you see it's starting to bounce right here in the monthly. And this loves to ride along the Bollinger. So when I say, whenever this happens, put on the spread, you'll make money on it. Okay. I actually want to jump to XBI right now before Spartan. I don't know if I have the time or not, but if I don't, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. This is really fascinating. The reason why I say it's fascinating is because there's really not any one stock in this ETF. So basically for this ETF to be breaking out, same thing with Oak Genomics, okay, as well. It has to do with, this is all boats are rising. Okay, I guess the Reader's Digest version. Okay, I am in Labu. I told you I put on a little bit of a hedge. The Labu did not confirm the breakout of the XBI.
Already, Beth, ready to pop on here. Alrighty, guys, morning. What's up? So if you guys are new to chat and haven't done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop into chats and look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you go pop in. First area to go to when you guys do pop in. Disclaimer section. Click on that. Give it a read. As well as go to the new to chat information section. Scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, a link to the disclaimer as well as this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand both. In regards to risk reward, guys, most important ratio in trading, so definitely worth checking out there. Continue to scroll down. We have the summary of how this chat works, breaks on the channel's work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat throughout the day. Important you know where to be looking. Continue to scroll down. We have the how to read alerts on the options equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward there. Options rules that we use Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts. SPX rules below that. Continue to scroll down. We have any with a small account, less than 10K, breaking down. If you have a smaller account, less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline you can put in place. You can better manage your account. How to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective below that. All right, let's take a look at the pre-market tickers on watch. We'll be looking at today, guys. So Tesla, MSTR, EME, FSLR, Janix, and Vanny. So Tesla gapping up with the market, MSTR gapping up in continuation with Bitcoin there. EME gapping up on earnings, FSLR gapping up on earnings, Janix gapping up in continuation from last day's move, and then Vanny. It's another smaller weight loss drug name that is a gapping up. So let's take a look at what we got going on today, guys. So first two games we're looking at today, guys, are going to be Tesla and MSTR. Let's take a look at those. The Tesla, guys, take a look at this. So pivot to the upside today is going to be this level right here. 201.53 levels able to hold. You get rid towards 204.78. The 207.94 unable to hold. We look for a pullback towards the 198.23 to 196.23 downside leading bullish neutral there. Looking for a continuation push higher if we can get above that 201.53 level. It's coming off the lows. It's making lower highs. You know, it's slow grind, stair step higher. So head and shoulders breakout to the upside would be the key for it. Next leg up. MSTR. Take a look at this. Yeah, should be fine. So MSTR, guys, let's take a look at this one here, intraday. Obviously, a nice little gap up continuation move. Pivot 957.14 level holds 1,008 to 1,046. Unable to hold 895 to 847.61 downside leading bullish, looking for a continuation push higher. So that's MSTR, and that is Tesla. Let's take a look at EME and First Solar. There's some fibs here. Should suffice. All right, so 297.84 pivot to the upside today. Level holds 305.98. The 315.40 unable to hold. We look for a pullback towards 287.98 to 278.13 downside leading bullish. Looking for a continuation push higher if the pivot point's able to hold. For solar, let's take a look at this. $152.46 pivot. Level holds 158.49 to 163.64. Unable to hold 148 to the 141.77 on the downside. They're going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher today if the pivot point is able to hold. That is for solar. That is EME. Let's take a look at Janax. Let's take a look at Vanny. Janax, again, we're going to do them a fib on this. The pivot to the upside today going to be 57.61. Levels unable to hold 51.64, 45.32. Able to hold 63.84 to 73.15 on the upside. Going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher if the pivot point's able to hold. That is Janex. Let's take a look at this Vanny. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit lower on this one too. All right, so we'll go with the 226 pivot. Level holds 258, 297, unable to hold 190 to the 159 on the downside, leading bullish, looking for a continuation push higher if the pivot point is able to hold. That's that. Let's take a look at the spine fang. Okay, SPY 506.02 pivots to the upside today. This level is able to hold 507.29 to 508.81. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback into the 504.69 to 503.15. We're still, putting up a flag pattern here. We'll see if it's able to actually push through. The market looks okay. It's going to be about, breaking that downtrend for continuation higher. I do think it's probably going to be an inside day in the beginning of the day. If we can get above that 507.29, obviously we can break out a little bit within this range higher. So still thinking tighter range to start the day, but then we'll see whether or not we can actually get a more of a push. That is the SPY. Let's take a look at Apple. So Apple pivot to the upside today, guys, is going to be this level right here. 182.18. Levels able to hold to get rid of words 183.42 to 184.48. Unable to hold 179.80 on the downside, getting leaning bullish neutral there as well. So looking for a continuation higher. The Apple, let's take a look at Amazon. $172.81 pivot. Levels able to hold to get rid towards 174.51 to 176.48. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback in on Amazon into the 171.9 or 60 to 170.14 downside, leaning on the bearish neutral side today. The pivot point's unable to hold. Let's take a look at Netflix. $646 level hold 608.64, unable to hold 594.16 to 590.69 on the downside, meaning bullish neutral only if that pivot point's able to hold as well. Take a look at Meta. $482.79 pivot levels able to hold 486.69 to 490.97. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback into the 479.85 to 475.99 downside, leaning bullish neutral there as well. if that pivot point is able to hold. And last but not least, let's take a look at the Google. Still a good looking chart on Meta, just, you know, it kind of starts stepping higher as well. All right, Google. Pivot 138.07, level holds 139.29, unable to hold 137.09. We'll call it 137.12 actually, leaning bearish, neutral on Google. Bear flag looks pretty ugly actually on the daily. So that's SPY to FANG. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today, guys. Gonna go ahead and pass it over to South Beach while I type up the pre-market action plan. Then we'll do a quick little recap before the open. South Beach, if you're ready, she's all yours for now, my friend.
Hey guys. I see Disney is doing some media deal in India, joint venture, 8.5 billion. Surprised the stock is actually down today because it was so strong yesterday. But anyway, let's move on to technicals, okay, and see if anything changed. And the answer is no. Still holding all the support levels. Chart looks damn good. I mean, we're coming in a little bit this morning. But you know what? Semis are soft, but S&Ps are only down a little. If they can hold with, you know, without the leadership names that have been the leaders, right? The semis and FANG names and some of these high PE tech, it could be very interesting development. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But the Qs and the SPYs look really good. And of course, we know the Russell is third best, a distant third. Let's see how that looks. It looks like it might be trying to break out of this long pattern it's been in. If you look at a weekly, it's very close to that. And if it did, maybe it could pop, you know, maybe 10, 12%. We'll see. Okay. It is on that path. If you look at that weekly chart, it's kind of interesting. I wouldn't be upset if it gapped and filled that little from yesterday and then tried to rally, but it looks better than it has. And let's look at the transports, which has been dog shit. Nothing, just nothing, just a crap group. Okay, for years and years, waste of time. Those are the technicals. Okay, so let's look at the bond market this morning. We had some data out. Right. So let's look at what we have. You know, I use Market Watch to tell me when data is coming. And last week, if you recall, I had said the PCE deflator is going to come because this shit website told me it was going to come. And now it's telling me, even right now, if you go to the Market Watch for US economic data, it has the PCE number coming out tomorrow, even now. Okay. And it looks like it came out this morning.
On FEMY, FE clearance count access at first one.
Oh, shut the fuck. Okay, so here are the numbers. All right. GDP number came in slightly lower than expectations, 3.233. GDP price index came in 1.715, a little worse. We shouldn't be surprised by that after we saw the the PPI and the CPI. And then you got the PCE, which they're telling me is supposed to come. This thing just stinks. What can I tell you? Anyway, 1.8 versus 1.7. Core came in 2.1 versus 2.2. I think those numbers, you know, PCE is tomorrow. So what is this PCE thing that came out today, Beth? Let's see what that is. Here it is. PCE price, actual, 1.8 versus 1.7, core PCE prices. I guess they're talking about PCE deflators tomorrow. 2.1 versus 2.2. Anyway, these numbers are kind of in line, but across the board. Shouldn't, you know, not that impactful. All right, so anyway, that's the numbers that came out. And let's see what those numbers have done to the bond market, if anything. I got all these guys calling me. Sorry. Okay, so bond market's a little lower, but not material. All right, 0.01, 0.02, nothing really. 10-year, 2-year spread is sitting at 39, which is the high end of a recent range of 30-40. And the bond market has been really a non-event for a fair amount of time now. Sure, Turk, good, thank you, buddy. The bond market in London is, not moving. The bond market in, Europe is flat as well, okay? So nothing in the bond market. Let's look at, commodities. So oil's basically flat in that trading range, but at the upper end at 79 cents. Natural gas is back up to 185. It got as low as 159, but that thing's in a serious bear market. I do agree that the risk is on the upside, not the downside for sure. Gold unchanged, silver's down a little bit, copper in that trading range, and these agricultural commodities super quiet. In fact, cocoa's down 4%, which is we haven't seen that in a while. Maybe the weather's improving in West Africa, who knows? Dollar is up against North America, up against Japan, and flat against China. So when you get right down to it, the bond market and the currency market and the commodity market are all non-eventful. Let's keep it at that. Crypto, on the other hand, is a monster. All right, so we got Bitcoin up 6%, Ethereum up 3%, Solana up 4%. And until we tackle this debt issue, I think the point of least resistance for this thing is up, although I am not involved at all. FTSE's down 0.7%, DAX up 0.2%, so kind of mixed there. Nikkei is flat. China, listen, you could try to hold up this shit economy they have, but and hold up the stock market, but you really can't. You could try all day long, but you can't. All right, so we got China down 2%, we got Hong Kong down 1.5%, Taiwan's down 0.5%, and that Chinese economy is crap, and it will stay crap. That's just my opinion, but that's what I think. Okay, so we got banks and Fed. I think the odds now are 0. Okay, so it's 100 to 0 that there'll be no raise in March. We'll see what happens in June. We have a lot of miles to cover between now and then before you can, in May, excuse me, before anything like that comes to fruition. So we'll see, China, Russian, we'll go over in a minute. Crypto, that is the hot market, even hotter than semis. Mr. Market yesterday, you had a lot of baby bios, which I am super heavy in, doing well. All right. What else did well? So you had China actually had a decent day. Solar was okay. And on the negative side, you had semis, and they weren't that terrible, to be honest. They were down a little bit. And after the run they've had, it's kind of immaterial. Okay, so that's Mr. Market. What's working? Tech. That's what's working. Baby bios are starting to be, working. So those have been pretty good as well. All right, so what else do we have? Biggest problem home buyers are finding in the market. This article was kind of laughable. High cost of living and insufficient income. I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? It's that way every time. I mean, insufficient income. That's why you can't buy a house. Why else would it be? Okay. They didn't even mention interest rates. What else we have? Russia is trying to, China's trying to broker a deal between Ukraine and Russia. They're taking another stab at it. Ukraine desperate for weapons. The U.S. aid is the lack of U.S. aid. I say this every morning, but I really am frustrated. It's okay if we decide not to do it, but this holdup is really sad, and our government just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. It's like they don't talk to each other, and this has been going on for a freaking decade already. It's annoying. And as you can tell, I'm not blaming one party. I think they're both to blame. So Wolf came out with they're saying you shouldn't use the Magnificent 7 anymore. You should go to a Magnificent 4. I kind of agree with this. They want to throw Apple, Tesla, and Google out. I 100% agree. It's NVIDIA, Microsoft, Meta, and Amazon. Those are the big dogs. You could probably put AMD in there as well. Or you know, another semi, but that's where it's at. Goldman Chief Strategist, he has his Mag 7 in not, you know, tech, and he uses Macy's, I'm sorry, MA, MasterCard and Visa, Workday, KKR, and DHR. If any of you guys are fans of free cash flow models, that's clearly what he uses, okay? If you went to any fund that, you know, is a free cash flow fund, they would belong every one of these names. Okay, so that's his game. NCLH, first profitable year since 2019. WBA Power Deal is a dead deal, no merger. Both those companies will be taken out at probably half of where they're currently trading. The opposition leader in Russia is being buried in Moscow, and the wife is claiming they were, they basically just, you know, were ripping up his body after they killed him. Not so nice, huh? Putin's a tough one. Beyond Beef, you saw that, steep cost cuts, they beat numbers. I don't think people were positioned right, and they're paying the price now. Starbucks is to hike wages for union members. I think they're probably forcing people to go to unions if they're only hiking union members, but that is the case. Okay. Kramer really went after Google last night. Okay, he says they're poorly managed. They spend money recklessly. They should have done what Apple did in closing that car division. They should do that with this Waymo. They find all these things. The NFL Sunday Ticket was a disaster. They didn't advertise. They didn't sell enough of it. And all they do is keep going into money losers. And I think he's right. And I think the guy running Google, his days are numbered. That guy's going to be shit canned for sure. What else did he say? He said something another interesting thing. He said EV is the way of the future, but not the way of the present. So avoid those stocks. Bumble's laying off 350. You know, listen, you say what you want about Kramer, but he is a pretty decent stock picker, in my opinion, after watching him for 20 years. Bumble laying off 350 people. Bitcoin is closing in on their all-time high at 68,982 in November 21. Trump and Biden won the Michigan primaries handily. They really have no competition. So Trump, I think, got 66%. And I mentioned Apple planning to cancel that electric car. Let me answer Turk's question. The three stocks that I bought a load of Vanny, guys. That was my name. I paid $1.75 for it, and it's now $6. So even a blind squirrel finds an acorn every now and then. So that one's pretty good. So let's talk stocks that are not on that list. That's kind of sort of obvious. I'm just looking at what I've been doing so far, and I'll look at the research. I think this ESPR is interesting, but they have a March PDUFA date, so be careful on that one. Know that that's coming. I'm thinking that one for sure. Is this HCA right at down $15? No, it's not. What else am I've been trafficking these bios mostly, Turk. So one that I'm you know what I think. I mean, I've been calling these things out on a regular basis. So I really like the ADAP, ADVM, ALGS. I have all three in size. Okay, the one I think that has the most upside here is the ALGS, which I've been mentioning a lot. Okay, so I'm continuing to focus on baby bios. I think that's where the money is. This Vanny had no, when I looked quickly, the market cap was so low, 54 million. I mean, 51 million, and they have a weight loss drug. I mean, really? And so that's why I just went heavy. I mean, I just thought it was stupid. So that one, what are the ones am I excited? I'll give you one more that excites me a little bit. I'll give you one in a little bit because I'm accumulating it, so I can't give you that one because I'm bigger than the stock. Doesn't trade that well. I may try to short SMH, actually, Turk. If this thing, I'm going to give it time to try to rally, but if it doesn't, I think it could come in a little bit. But remember, contra trading, short time horizon and tight stops. Okay, I think I'm going to give that one a shot. All right, just so you know. But those ones I mentioned, I like a lot. Okay, all right. So moving on. I think I did that. Yeah. So look, we have the the stuff that you guys see, the movers. Let's see if there's anything in here worth discussing and getting involved in. You got this beyond up a shitload. That stock does not turn me on at all. CPNG, I bought it. I bought call spreads yesterday at 359. Why? Because Druckenmiller's crazy in this stock, and I think this is the first good earnings they've had in a while. So I think this stock is really worth a really hard look. Okay, look at that chart. Look at the weekly. Look how long it's been flatlining. It's been flatlining since really of October of 22. Okay, so when you have a situation where a company flatlines for that long a period of time, right, and it breaks out of that flat line, the move can be super aggressive. So I think I would add this to my list, Turk, as a stock to really keep an eye on. The guy doesn't own this much of a stock for fun and games. All right, and he's too freaking good. All right, so I think this is, let's see. I'm trying to see how much money he actually has in this thing. But the guy's a fantastic stock picker. He's been sitting with this forever. Here he is. He owns the $387 million worth of this thing. And to put it into perspective, his biggest holding is NVIDIA at 485, then Microsoft at 442, and this thing at 387. After that, it's slowly at 307. So he owns the living shit out of this, and it's been flatlining for 2 years. I do think there's a lot of upside here. CPNG. You want me to write it so there's no mistake? I think this is a really interesting situation. Okay, so that's that one. Getting back to these names, I'm trying to just give you trading ideas instead of just going over the stuff. The eBay was good number, and they did a $2 billion buyback. I hate that freaking stock. I don't even understand what they do. There's a couple of offerings. When they bust through offerings, JANX, it's a very big positive. And I took a couple of other semiconductors this morning. I mean, baby buyouts. I bought a little of this Zebra Victor Sam Apple, and I bought one other one, APLT. Okay, so that's what I'm involved in this morning. I'm going to pass it over to my friend Spartan, and let's have a good day, guys. Spartan, it's all yours.
Thank you, South Beach. All right, guys, morning. What's going on? So if you guys are new to chat and never done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop in a chat. It's going to look something a little bit like this. First area to go to when you guys do come in, click on that disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section, scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, you got a link to the disclaimer as well as this bold risk reward section. Super important to understand both in regards to risk reward, guys, the most important ratio in trading. So definitely worth checking out there in that regard. Continue to scroll down with the summary of how this chat works, breaks on all the channels work on the left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat throughout the day. That is important so you know where to be looking. Continue to scroll down below this. We have the how to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts on both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard as well. Continue to scroll down. We have the options rules that we like to use Monday to Thursday, regress controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts, etc., etc. And then the SPX rules that we use every single day right below there. Below this, any with a small account, less than 10K, breaking down if you have a smaller account, less than 10K, some rules, information, discipline you can put in place so you can better manage your account. Ooh, whoops. And then lastly, how to pick ideas from an options or market perspective. So pre-market tickers on watch. What do we got going on today, guys? A couple of things. Tesla, MSCR, EME, FSLR, JANX, and then the Vanny. So let's take a look what we got going on here. Tesla gapping in sympathy with the market. Now it's gapping down a little bit. MSCI gapping up, continuation of Bitcoin. EME gapping up on earnings. Janex. Sorry. Yeah, Janex gapping up, continuation from last day's move, and then Vanny, smaller weight loss drug that is gapping up, and it looks pretty darn good to me right there. All right, let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint. Intraday. So a couple different names that we're looking at today, guys, to start. Tesla and MSTR. So let's have a look. All righty, Tesla, MSTR. Tesla pivot to the upside today. Going to be the 201.53 spot level holds 204.78, 207.94. Unable to hold 198.23 to 196.23 on the downside. Leaning bullish neutral there. MSTR pivot to the upside today is going to be the 957.14 level holds 1,008 89 to 1 to 1046.84. Unable to hold 895.90 to 847.61 downside. Leaning bullish neutral. Let's take a look at EME and FSLR. EME pivot to the upside today, going to be 297.84 level holds 305.98, 315.40. Unable to hold 287.98 to 278.13 downside, leaning bullish neutral there. FSLR gapping up on earnings. This name pivot to the upside 152.46. Able to hold 158.49, 163.64. Unable to hold 148 to 141.77 downside, leaning bullish neutral. Then last but not least, guys, take a look at Janex and Vanny. And Janex got it kind of hammered there. So Janex pivot to the upside today. Going to be that 57.61 spot. Levels able to hold. You got room for continuation into the 63.84 to 73.15. Unable to hold 51.64, 43.32, 45.32, and then this is up a little bit higher than this right now, guys. So I have 226 as the pivot. I'm just going to give us a couple more new levels. So I know this is at like $7 right now. I'm not going to be able to see it actually. Okay, there we go. So 739 upper end resistance, then 958, and then downside, obviously the 225, 159, 125, the downside there. All right, let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. So let's take a look at the SPY first. So SPY 506.62 pivots to the upside today, in my opinion. This level holds. Room higher. Into the 507.29 resistance breaks. We see the 508.81 tested. Pivot unable to hold. Room lower. Into the 504.69 support breaks. We see the 503.15 tested, leaning bullish neutral. Let's take a look at the rest of the FANG here. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to say inside day in the morning. So I'm thinking inside day in the afternoon. Sorry, inside day in the morning and outside day in the afternoon. So I'm thinking we could break through that resistance point after this morning session. But we'll see what happens in that regard. Just obviously my opinion. Let's take a look at the rest of the FANG here. Apple. Pivot to the upside today. We got the 182.15 spot. That level's able to hold 182.18, sorry. That level's able to hold 183.42. That level breaks 184.48. Unable to hold 181.30 to 179.80, leaning bullish neutral there. Amazon pivot 171, 172.81. Level holds 174.51 to 176.48. Unable to hold 171.60 to 170.14. Going to be leaning bullish only if you can break this little downtrend there. So we'll keep an eye on that. I do like the chart still on the daily, but you know, obviously it's getting a little bit of a pullback. Netflix pivot upside today, guys, is going to be 648. That level is able to hold 608.64. Unable to hold 594.16 to 590.69. Range break on the daily setup looks good. Just needs to get back above the pivot point. Meta pivot upside today is going to be 482.79. Level holds 46.89, 490.07. unable to hold 479.85 to 476 downside at leaning bullish neutral there as well. Then last but not least, guys, we got the Google, which I am leaning bearish on. So Google pivots to the upside 138.07, level holds 139.29 to 137.12, unable to hold, 138.07 to 139.29, unable to hold 137.12, and I'm leaning bearish neutral on that one, looking for continuation lower there. So let's take a look at what we got going on today in the VIX, Qs, and IWM as well. VIX pivot to the upside today, guys. So 1377 level holds 1433, 1475, unable to hold 1338 downside. QQQs pivot to the upside today is going to be the 434.97 level holds 438.16 to 440.63, unable to hold 431.31 to 427.59 on the downside, at leaning on the bullish neutral side if the pivot can hold. And then last but not least, SPX pivot to the upside today is going to be the 50.68 level holds 50.95 to 51.11, unable to hold 50.53 to 50.39 downside, meaning bullish neutral. So that's SPY, that's a FANG. Those are the individual names we are looking at today. Should be interesting. I think, the market obviously stuck in a little bit of a range here, but I do believe we can break out of it. So we'll keep an eye on that. And that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, that's it. Thanks for guys tuning into the pre-market stream. We do this every single Wednesday. And yeah, if you guys want to come trade with us, you can certainly do so. Go to SpartanTrading.com and